awesome opening sequence, right? What's up guys, it's Tristan. I'm back with another vlog, another tutorial about how you should be editing your landscape photos. Now, before I started shooting fashion and shooting concerts and things like that, I shot landscape photos. So I want to get back into that, and I have lately. For the last 2 weeks, I've been shooting nothing but landscapes and editing, and it's been fun. I just rely on myself to get out where I need to be, and I don't have to rely on people to show up at a specific time, but I'm rambling. Now, when it comes to editing these photos, there's two programs that you can use. There's Lightroom and there's Photoshop. Personally, I like to use Lightroom for color correction and Photoshop for retouching. So, without further ado, wait a minute. I just want to say this. The Philadelphia Eagles just won their first Super Bowl. I got my helmet right here, and I couldn't be more excited. I've been waiting on this forever, and it finally happened last Sunday. So now I had to get that out of my system. Let's go ahead and get to editing. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Lightroom. This is the final version of the photo that we're going to be editing today, and this is what I shot earlier on the beach in camera raw. So we're going to go from here to here, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So let's go ahead and go back. And the first thing I like to do is the gradient. So I'm going to set the gradient. I'm going to click this button up here. I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to drop the anchor point down right about here. I hold the shift button to keep it straight. So I'm going to go there, and then we're going to go to the bottom and drag it up. Same thing, hold shift, keep it straight, and there we go. So I'm going to keep it there. At this point, I'm going to adjust the exposure just a little bit, make it a little dark, right about there. All right, cool. Then we're going to go click out of that and go to the basic tab. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the exposure a bit. I'm going to go right about there, and I'm going to bring the temperature down too to about 40. I would say 4600 or 45 is good right there. Then I'm going to bring the shadows out. Let's go ahead and punch these out a little bit. I would say right about here is fine. Bring back some of those details in the rocks, and then we're going to drop the whites down to bring in a little more detail. So let's go ahead and do that. That looks good right about there. Lastly, I'm going to punch the blacks up a little bit so I can bring back even more detail in the photo overall and in the rock. So I think right about there is fine. We'll leave it at 68. I'm also going to drag up the clarity to about 26. You don't want to overdo it because then it looks a little bit ridiculous and you lose your color. So I'm going to do it at about 25, 26. 26 looks good. And then I'm going to bring up the vibrance a little bit, right about there. And I'm going to drop the saturation just a tiny bit. Now we're going to go to the HSL tab. That stands for hue, saturation, and luminance. Now honestly, you can use the HSL at your own discretion. Just don't overdo it. You can make your photos look absolutely ridiculous. Just do whatever you think feels right, looks right. Whatever works for you, you should be fine. First, I'm going to play with the hues just a little bit. I'm going to drop the oranges down a bit, maybe right about there. That's -11. I'm going to boost the aqua up right about there, and I think I'm going to put the blues down just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go to the saturation tab, and I'm going to boost the oranges a lot actually. I'm going to put it at about 50, 60-ish, 59. That should be fine. I'm going to bring up the yellows too, just a little. The aquas, I really want to bring the blues out in this photo, so I'm going to push that up to right about there. I think that looks good. And I'm going to do the blues the same. So that does it with the HSL tab. Up next, tone curves. We're going to play with those for a little bit. Let's go ahead and minimize our HSL tab and our lens corrections tab. We're going to open up the tone curve tab. Now at the top is our highlights, and at the bottom of the tone curve is our blacks and our midtones. So the first thing I would like to do is bump up the blacks right here just to get that little faded look. We're going to put it right about there. I think that's good. And then we're going to make what's called the S curve. It's nothing too drastic, but it brings out the highlights and the shadows in this photo. So we're going to bump the highlights up just a tad bit, and then we're going to put an anchor point right here, right next to the where we put the blacks up, and bring it down just a little bit. Right about there, it looks fine to me. Put it back up, right there. Okay, great. That's where I'm gonna leave it at right now. And we're gonna go open up the lens corrections tab yet again. What I like to do with the lens corrections tab is just add more depth to the photo, kind of push it out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So make sure you constrain your crop right here, and then you're gonna go to the distortion meter. You're gonna push it out just, I would say about halfway. Now if you go all the way up, the photo just looks entirely too warped, so we're just gonna go back down to maybe, I would say 50 is a safe amount. I'm gonna put it right there. That should be good. And then just click out of that. Now that's it. That's our final image. Now, if you want to see what it looked like before the edits, under the delete key, there's a slash key. So hit that. That's what it looked like before, and that's what it looked like after. Now there's one minor tweak I want to make to this photo before I'm completely done with it. Right now, it looks pretty cool. It's pretty blue, and it doesn't reflect how I was feeling at that moment. Southern California is a warm place. Yes, it's January. Yes, it's winter time, but I want how I was feeling at that moment to reflect in the photo. So let's go back. I'm gonna open the basic tab, and I'm gonna bump the tint up a couple notches. Actually, maybe just one. I think that's a little too much. And then we're going to go to the temperature and bump that up until I feel like it's warm enough. And I think I'm gonna leave it right there. That'll do it. Last but not least, more than likely, you're gonna put this photo on Instagram. And when you do that, you wanna make sure you take up as much space as possible. So you're gonna crop your image at 4x5 or 5x4 if it's vertical. You wanna make sure you take up as much real estate as you can on that timeline. So let's go ahead and go back in here. You're gonna hit R for crop, and then you're gonna click on the original button right there, and you're gonna go 4x5. Hit enter, and that's it. Now to export, you're gonna hit G for grid. You're gonna click export down here. You're gonna export it to your desktop so you know exactly where it is. You're gonna make sure the quality is at 100 and your resolution is 300. You hit export, and that's it. Your photo is done. You can now upload it to Instagram and get as many likes as you can get as many likes as your friend and get as many likes as you could possibly and get as many likes as you could ever want. Oh hey, now I'm back over here. Things might have shifted a little bit from the first time I talked to you guys when I was sitting here, but that's neither here nor there. I really wanted to talk to you guys about one more thing, and that's presets. Presets are really a simple, easy way to color correct your photos without really any effort. There are minor tweaks that you can do here and there, but let me just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So here's another photo I took today. It's of my fiance out on the beach on the rocks. I really wanted to give it this real moody feel, so I went over to this preset here. By the way, I'm going to put this preset in the description below, and it gives it this whole different feel, just different tones, different shadows, different highlights, different colors. The blues and the greens are really popping in this photo. One thing that I would add though is I wanted to bring out her hair and her shirt. So I'm going to go over to this paintbrush right here, and I'm just going to paint her shirt just like this. And then I'm going to go up to her hair as well and paint over that. And once you're done, just go over to the exposure over here and just bring it up a little bit. Don't do too much because it's going to look crazy. Just really, really minor. And I think that'll do it right about there. Last thing, hit that paintbrush right there to get out of it. Go to lens corrections, hit constrain crop. And again, like we did the last photo, just push it out to about 50%. Don't go overboard. Again, you don't want to warp the hell out of your photo. And that's it. So click out of that and you're finished. And that's it for this tutorial. Those are just a few of the basic things that I like to do when I'm editing my photo. I hope this helps you. I hope this motivates you to just get out there and take some landscaping photos of your own. Go to a beach, go to the mountains, a swamp, or whatever is around you, and go ahead and edit your photos and take them to the next level. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do vlogs every single Sunday, and make sure you're following me on social media. My Twitter, my Instagram, both are linked in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Tristan Ervin. I do vlogs every single Sunday, so I'll see you next week. All right, peace.